Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Shishi Education Care Foundation Care. Today I teach you uh, the conduction in semiconductor physics. Conductor physics. Electron theory in solids. Electron theory in solids. This is the today's topic. Good evening everyone. My name is Akshay Devi. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Shishi Education Foundation Care. Today I teach you the electron theory in solids. Now let's see it here, electron theory in solids. The electrons in the outer orbit of the atom determine their electrical properties in solid. Means to say the electrons in the outermost orbit of the atom determine their electrical properties in solid. Means to say everyone knows the KLNOP shell. The electrons in the outermost orbit of the atom determine their electrical properties in solid. Means to say, everyone knows about the KLNOP shell. KLMNOP shell. So the outermost orbit, which is belongs to K, outermost orbit of the atom determine their electrical properties in solid. Outermost orbit of the atom determine their electrical properties in solid. For example, wait a minute. For example, this is only KLMN. Forget OP. So the electrical properties of any kind of a solid material determines the outermost orbit of the electrons. Okay. Now let's move on. Atom determine the electrons in the outermost orbit of the atom. Any kind of atom, the outermost orbit determines the electrical properties of the solid. What kind of solid? Okay. Now let's move on. Free electron theory of solid explains the structure and properties of solid. Free electron theory of solid explains the structure and properties of solid through their electronic structure. Free electron theory of solid explains the structure and property of solid through their electronic structure. Means to say, free electron theory, everyone knows what is the free electron theory. The free electron theory is whenever the outermost electrons, those who are free, K shell electrons, those who are free. So their electron theory inside the solid explains the structure and the properties of solid. Okay. Through their electronic structure, through their electron structure. Okay. This theory is applicable in to all solids, both metals and non-metal. Means to say, this theory is applicable to any kind of solid, if it is metal or non-metal. The behavior of conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. Also, the behavior of semiconductors, conductors, and insulators. The electrical thermal means to say the heat property and magnetic properties of solids. That's why free electron theory is proposed. This is the free electron theory categorized in three groups: classical free electron theory, quantum free electron theory, and zone band electron theory. This is a classical free electron theory, quantum free electron theory, and zone of band electron theory. Okay. Now let's discuss one by one what is classical and what is quantum and what is band theory. Okay. Now first comes to classical theory. This is a macroscopic theory proposed by Drude, Drude and Lorentz in 1900. Proposed to these two physicists, Drude and Lorentz in 1900. According to this theory, the free electrons are mainly responsible for electrical conduction. According to this the free electrons are responsible for electrical conduction. The electrons present in each shell are responsible for electrical conduction in metals. This theory follows the law of classical mechanics. Okay. Now comes to your quantum free electron theory. This is a microscopic theory. Difference between classical and quantum is classical is a macroscopic, which we can see easily through naked eyes. Okay, but in quantum theory, which we can't see easily through naked eyes, for that we need a microscope. So the classical theory is a macroscopic theory, which to say which is physically seen by naked eyes, and the quantum free electron theory is a microscopic theory which can't which we can't see physically through our naked eyes. Okay. Proposed by this theory proposed by Sommerfeld in 1928. Okay. According to this theory, the electrons in a matter move a constant potential. According to this theory, the electrons in a matter moves a constant potential, which moves at the same speed. Whether if it is a K shell, whether L shell, M shell, whether M shell, whether it's a O shell, whether it's a P shell. Inside all these shells, electrons are moved in a constant say on a same speed. According to the quantum electron theory, this theory follows the law of quantum mechanics. The quantum free electron theory was given by Sommerfeld physicist in 1928. Now comes to zone theory or band theory, which we used in engineering or physics in modern days. This theory is proposed by Bloch in 1928. Okay, in 1928, this theory physicist proposed by physicist Bloch in 1928. According to this theory, free electrons move in a periodic potential. According to this theory, according to band theory or zone theory, free electrons are move in a periodic potential. Means to say, they can't move in a constant speed. They move in a periodic potential. Periodic potential means to say one by one, not a equal speed. One, for example, K shall have a electron have a different speed. L shall have electron at different speed, and so on. Every shell electrons have different speed. Okay, different speeds. So it is a periodic potential. This theory explains electric conductivity based on energy bands. This theory explains electric conductivity based on energy bands. As all of you know, these over the valence band, band gap, and conduction band. This theory proposes this law, okay, which is called the energy band law. Now let's move on further. I teach you today classical free electron theory in deep. Okay, let's see it here. Electron theory, so it's classical free electron theory. Here I discuss deep about the classical free electron theory. Okay, now let's start. This theory was proposed by P. Drude in the year 1900. Okay, proposed by P. Drude. This theory was proposed by P. Drude in the year 1900. Is to explain electrical conduction in metal. Is to explain the electric condition in the metal. Is to say how could the electrical conduction happen in metal or inside the metal. This theory was further studied by a physicist named as H.A. Lorentz. Okay, this theory is further studied by the physicist named as H.A. Lorentz in the year 1909. Is to say, after 9 years, this theory was again studied by a physicist by the name H.A. Lorentz. Now, what Drude electron theory? Drude Lorentz theory. Its principle. Okay. According to this theory, a metal consists of a very large number of free electrons. Yeah, it's true. A metal consists of, according to this theory, a metal consists of very large amount of free electrons. Number of free electrons can move freely through the volume of metal. Can move freely through the volume of the metal. Means to say, this is an iron bar. Okay. According to P. Drude theory or H.A. Lorentz theory. Okay. What happened? The electrons are free to move anywhere. Electrons are free to move anywhere. Like this. Okay, according to this theory, because the volume of the metal is to say, throughout the volume of the metal is, this is a metal, anywhere the free electrons are moved according to this theory. Okay, they are fully responsible for the electrical conduction. Those electrons are free conduction in the metal. Okay. Those electrons are fully responsible for the electrical conduction inside any metal. Whatever that metal consists electrons. And what amount of electrons that metal consists of. We know that an atom consists of a central nucleus. Yes, atom consists of a central nucleus. This is nucleus with positive charge surrounded by the electrons. This positive charge electrons and electrons of negative charge. Positive charge with nucleus is positive charge surrounded by electrons. Positive charge, positive charge surrounded by the electrons of negative charge. Okay, means to say positive charge protons are surrounded by the negative charge electrons. Okay. The electrons in the inner shells called core electrons. The electrons in the inner shells called core electrons, and those in the outermost shell called valence electrons. Those in the outermost shell called valence electrons. According to this theory, not in real, this is assumption. This theory is assumed in 1909, conducted in 1909 also. According to this theory, okay. Now assumption related to this theory is, do assume that the free electrons in a metal from in a metal form or gas form, which according to Druch, the free electrons inside the metal is in the form of solid or in the form of gas. These free electrons move randomly in all possible directions. These free electrons move randomly in all possible directions. These electrons move randomly all possible directions. Okay, just like a gas molecules in a container. Okay, means to say that to say this. For example, this is a container full of gas. Full of gas. According to him, these gases are and according to Lorentz and Druch, what happened? The gases move also in a natural way. This gas move like this, like this, like this, like this in unmanner way, like. Okay. So according to Druch, he says electrons are move like in the form of gas in unmanner way, or in unmanner. Okay. Now comes here in the absence of electric field. When an electric field is not applied, the free electrons move every in a random manner. Okay. When you can't apply any kind of electric field, the electrons move everywhere in a random manner. Okay. They collide with other electrons and positive ions. Now, in the absence of electrical field, what happens when electrical field is not applied? The free electrons move everywhere in a random way. According to this theory, when if you current applied electricity on metal, then free electrons move everywhere in a random manner. Means to say, just like this. This is the example of without electrical field applying the scenario according to Druch and Lorentz. Okay, they collide with other free electrons and positive ion. According to him, they collide with free electrons and positive ion of the core also. Okay, this is the assumption related to P. Druch and H. Lorentz. This assumption is not real. Okay, this coalition is called elastic coalition. Now, in the presence of electric field, when electrical When electrical field is applied, the electrons get some amount of energy. When electrical field is applied, the electrons get some amount of energy from the applied electric field, and they begin to move from the applied electrical field, and they begin to move towards the positive to begin to move from negative towards the positive potential in the opposite direction to the applied electrical field is true. Okay, just like this. Applied it the electricity and it moves like this. Okay. Now let's move on further. Let's see it here. Incompleted. I continuity here. Electrons are assumed to be a perfect gas. They are assumed to be a perfect gas in Truth and Lorentz theory, but only not in real. Perfect means to say not only not in present physics scenario. Okay, electrons are assumed to be a perfect gas. They obey the laws of kinetic theory of gases. Electrons are assumed to be a perfect gas and they obey the laws of kinetic theory of gases. Okay. Now here comes drift velocity. What is drift velocity inside the Drude and Lorentz theory? The average velocity acquired by the free electrons in a metal, particular direction in a metal, the average velocity acquired by the free electrons, which are randomly, but when applied at the electrical field, they are randomly. So according to that scenario, the average velocity acquired by the free electrons in a metal in a particular direction by the application of an electrical field is called drift velocity. Remember this. Means when you apply any kind of electrical field on metal, it obeys it obeys the direction scenario and moves on a particular direction. Okay, as you all of you familiar to the modern EMF theory inside the electrical field. Electromotive force theory. Inside this theory, what happened? When you apply inside the electrical field, electrons are moved from negative to positive terminal. The set of four free electrons on negative positive terminal is called electromotive force. Just like this. So, and as same here in drift velocity, the average velocity acquired by the free electrons in a metal in a particular direction by the application of electrical field. Mean free path. Now what is mean free path? It is denoted by lambda, alpha beta. Sorry, gamma, lambda, yeah. Mean free path, it is denoted by lambda. Average distance traveled by a free electron. Average distance traveled by a free electron between any two successive collisions. Between any two successive collisions means to say, this is an electron. It is traveled. When you applied electrical field. It is collided by another electron. As this is traveled by free electron between any two successive collision. As distance traveled by a free electron between any two successive collision. In the presence of electric between any two successive collision. The first collision, the second collision. Okay, we should say as distance traveled by electron between any two successive collision. This is an exception. This is not real, and this can't be applicable in today's modern physics. Okay, so the average distance traveled by a free electron between any two successive collisions in the presence of an applied electrical field. In the presence of an applied electrical field. Okay, it is a product of drift velocity of free electrons and collision time. The product of drift velocity of free electrons and collision time. Drift velocity of free electrons and collision time. Means, okay, collision time definition. Yeah, collision time definition. This is TC. Average time taken by a free electron between any two successive collisions. Average time taken by a free electron between any two successive collisions. Remember this thing. This is called the collision time. This electron, it collides, it travels and collide with one electron, then it travels collide with another electron. This is called the collision time. Okay. Collision time definition is lambda by Vd. Sorry, formula is lambda Vd. And mean field path formula is mean field generated by a drift velocity into collision time. Relaxation time. Now comes to relaxation time. The average time taken by a free electron to reach its equilibrium position from its disturbed position due to the application of external electric field is approximately equals to 10 to power minus 14 second. The average, for example, this is an electron. The average time taken by a free electron. This is a free electron. The average time taken by a free electron to reach its equilibrium position from its disturbed position. Collide with another electron, this electron, then it goes collide with another electron, then it goes in and goes and can't collide with an electron and goes and reaches equilibrium position. This is called equilibrium position without disturbing that free electron. To reach its equilibrium position from its disturbed position. From its disturbed position. The application like external electric field, it is approximately equal to the time of 10 to 3 power minus 14 seconds. Remember this, okay? It's okay, fine. Now, today's lecture ends here. Tomorrow I teach you derivation of electrical conductivity. Okay. Now this lecture ends here today. Tomorrow I teach you about the derivation of electrical conductivity of electrical conductivity in electrical conductivity. Which comes inside classical electron theory. Okay. In deep I try to teach you. Now today's lecture ends here. Please like, share, subscribe my channel. Shashi Education Foundation Care. Please like, share, subscribe my channel. Shashi Education Foundation Care. My name is Akshat Devi. Please like, share, subscribe my channel. Good night. Take care.